Vamp. Сейчас посмотрю, видно ли игру. Игру видно, отлично. Все, разворачивайся, игра. Вот, только не говори, что она вылетела, блин. Не отвечает. Типа я как бы за заказчиками бегать не собираюсь. Типа я максимум, что для них могу сделать, это договориться с ними, когда они хотят видеть свою ебаную заказную игру. Типа там через день, каждый день. Или вот по вторникам, четвергам, как вот Resident Evil. Вот. Сегодня должен быть Resident Evil. А ну его нету, не пришел заказчик, поэтому он прогулял. Получается. Он, получается, прогулял. Так. Я ничего не могу крафтить, кроме того, как сломать на масло винты. А внизу ничего нет.
That's strange. The trail is very erratic, as if the killer was drunk or hesitant.
Словно убийца был пьян.
At last, a little life.
Are they stupid or something? I've never even been to India.
Давай поговорим.
Sir. Are you alright? Is there any way I can help you?
I don't know. Maybe you could just talk to me.
Maybe you prefer to speak with Tom then. He's more agreeable talking to strangers.
What's going on around here? Where is everyone?
Too many dead, sir. First the epidemic, now all these terrible murders.
Убийца?
The murders. What can you say about them?
Bodies found in the streets every morning. Drained of blood. It's just horrible. Some say the sewer dog is back.
The sewer dog. What's that?
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed. But now he's killing in the streets.
What have you heard about the epidemic?
There's a Spanish flu. Yeah. Killed so many last summer. Thought we'd seen the last of it. Dozens dying every week.
Are the authorities doing anything?
Nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, a turquoise turtle. I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
Are you always open this late at night?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
Угу.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
I just want to talk. I didn't mean to scare you.
I'm not afraid, sir. It's just I've other customers to take care of.
I only see one customer.
Oh. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I best check on them.
I'll leave then. Thank you.
Спасибо. Ничего не болеет.
Good
Nice
evening,
to
sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I apologize for my outfit. It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous bottle, see?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go, don't they?
What's going on around here? It's like everybody is hiding.
You must be new here. Have you not heard about the murders? Everybody fears the return of the sewer dog.
Who is this sewer dog?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every crime that happened for decades. You murdered someone, blame the sewer dog, eh?
You make it sound like it's a fairy tale.
People will always believe in monsters. It's easier than accepting their own darkness. We can all be monsters.
Угу.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Так. Чувак ничего дельного не сказал. Тут закрыто. Переутомление. 1500 опыта. Не, ну да, я помню, я читал по этой игре, что... Подсказка разблокирована. Что типа этот... Типа их можно схавать, но если я схаваю, то это будет хуёво на сюжете. Ну типа то, что какие-то побочек не будет, но у меня будет больше охотников будет появляться. Поэтому вот такая жопа. Сейчас приду, секунду. 240 гигов. Ну, у меня, по-моему, место есть, чтобы скачать. Папы. Геймпад отключился. А не знал, что он отключается, если только не пользоваться. Так, поговорить с барменом.
God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you out of hell. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Well, grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be another long night.
Where am I? Where is this place?
You're at my bar, sir, the Turquoise Turtle. The last ray of light in this dangerous part of town.
Aren't you scared?
Scared of what? All the bad shit happens out on the foggy streets. And I never go outside.
So you're open all night?
Yep. Figured people might need a place to rest in these dark times.
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room. Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire week.
How long has he been here?
He rented the room a few days ago and didn't say when he'd leave.
Кто он такой?
Who is this man? What does he look like?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess. Well-dressed, quite polite. A professor or something fancy like that. Always writing, reading notes.
I need to meet this man. I have questions.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me? This is a respectable establishment.
Да, без проблем. 2500 опыта у него. Социальный слой с Сарой. Томасом. Как я понял, им можно помогать, да? Типа... Состояние стабильное здоровье. Вот можно его спасти, переутомление. Чтобы кровь была лучше. Только 3 человека.
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain? You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire! Who are you? I mean you no harm.
А, нихуя, крестик дает пизды.
Present yourself! I need a word. Anyone?
Well, that's something I can do for you.
Котик, ебало завали. Ебало завали, говорю. Ебало завали. Ебало завали. Лежи тут, ебало завали.
And who might you be?
Доктор Эдгар Соунд. 6000 опыта, охуеть! Качество крови во многом зависит от здоровья человека и числа подсказок о нем, которые вы собрали. Столб.
I'm not sure that I know anymore.
Might I at least learn the reason of your presence?
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
The calling card of a vampire. Like you.
Этого не может быть, я жертва, похоже, в этом разбираетесь. Ну, блядь, этого может быть, чел.
You seem the expert. How would that be?
I have my secrets, as you have yours.
Then if you are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
What have you uncovered concerning the murders?
It started a few nights ago. Rumors of violent murders. The docs have always been, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. But this is different.
How different?
A vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
I heard another voice, that of a woman. Who were you talking to?
Ridiculous. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Something tells me not to trust you.
Then the feeling is mutual.
And what exactly is this brotherhood?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then we shall discuss it another time.
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We are both chasing the same shadow.
A shadow, indeed. Yet I heard his voice in my head. There was a moment I believed I was mad.
You should let me handle this affair. You've no idea what you're up against.
No. I will find the monster. He is mine.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your intentions if you find the killer?
Ну, честно, ну, въебать его логично, но узнать ответ... Ну, блядь, а чё он, какие ответы может узнать у ебанутого вампира, который жрет всех подряд? Ну, ладно.
I will at last have the answers to my questions.
Then I can only wish you good hunting. And pray we shall meet again.
Здорово, гражданин. Ну, 6000. 6000 опыта, блядь, ну...
Swansea is not my attacker. It means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something.
Бля, вот этот маркер игрока меня уже заебал. Я его не ставлю, но он сам ставится.
Evening, sir. Can I help you?
I have a few questions for you.
Well, if you must.
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk as usual. But my God, his eyes, his face.
Как еще вампиром стал?
Awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Why are you so afraid?
I mean, his skin, his hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
У меня вообще звук включен микрофона. Да. Просто, блядь, ОБС у нас есть такой, блядь, шальной мальчик.
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
Подсказка о горожанах. Вы получили подсказку. Вне следующего личную информацию о горожане или человеке, который... Вы вампир, и для развития навыков там вам нужна кровь. Индикатор качества крови указывает, сколько опыта вы получите, если выпьете кровь горожанина. Найденные подсказки увеличивают опыт. Том и Уильям Бишоп никогда были близкими друзьями. Я не хочу их убивать. Типа, я вот этого чувака излечу средства от переутомления. Но убивать я их не собираюсь.
Hello, sir. May I disturb you?
А я не могу скипнуть?
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Welcome back.
I can't say.
Hey, I told you, you were the only other stranger I've had.
Вы можете заставить гражданина поделиться с вами информацией, если у вас есть подсказка. Синяя строка.
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not.
Нихуя себе.
Why lie to me if he is not your friend?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer, and that's the truth.
Who is he?
William, just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah, like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. He can barely stand up most of the time.
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What do you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Strong?
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
Хорошо.
Are they stupid or something? I've never even been to India.
It's a good thing you cannot see me now, Mum.
Так, видео.
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city?
Осмотреть лодки.
The
А вот
body
он.
is still warm. This man has just been drained of
А, нет, его схавали.
This man was armed. He tried to defend himself.
Или это нет, это не он выглядит нормально. Тут скажу,
His
выглядит как
corpse has
бичар
been
ебаный.
dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. What's this? Some sort of note.
И писька. Красота тебя от Джорджа Маккалума, кому патрульным в доках. Тема. Множество погибших в районе доков. Мы полагаем, что там действует опасный кровосос. Найдите эту тварь и ликвидируйте ее, да побыстрее. Внимание, судя по недавним сообщениям, этот вампир очень агрессивен. Действуйте с предельной осторожностью. Я знаю, что в этой части города у нас не хватает людей, но поручайте это дело новичкам. Если я не ошибаюсь, то действует бешеная тварь, которая убивает каждую ночь. Как всегда, сначала смотрите заброшенные старые дома, подвалы, склады и канализацию. Уничтожьте кровососа, братья.
These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters. Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker.
Ну да.
There
Он
are
схавал.
blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Окей. Можно наверх подняться. Лутинг?
Doesn't like burning, does it?
Картечь. Оружие дальнего боя. Нажмите Y, чтобы применить. А, мне-то картечь. Ну нет дробовика. Ну, блядь, если будет, я буду шотган использовать. Шотган это охуенная тема. Досье врага. Нажмите LV, чтобы поблизости врагов видеть досье. Некоторые враги устойчивы к определенным видам урона. Они помечены соответственно с четырьмя видами урона. Физический ближний бой и дальний бой. Магический, кровь, белый и тень. Оранжевый цвет означает среднюю устойчивость. Красный означает высокую устойчивость. Он устойчив как огнестрел. Окей. Так что если у меня был бы огнестрел, то ему было бы похуй. Лут кто-то спиздил.
Burn it, boys! Get their weapons ready! He's dead!
Пусть! Тут патрон. О, у меня есть патрон теперь на пистолет. Эй. Неизвестно. Вот это челыч. О, бля, старая залупа, нахуй. Не, ну дробовик. Блять, вот дробовик я бы покачал, пиздец. Найден коллекционный предмет. Кое-кто из наших соратников считает, что наше главное преимущество в борьбе с красотцами заключается в том, что они не могут выходить на улицу днем, поэтому мы можем уничтожать их логово, когда они спят. Такая ошибка характерна для новичков. Во-первых, потому что вампиры умны и пользуются множеством уловок, чтобы сбить нас со следа. Во-вторых, потому что их убежище наполнены смертельно опасными ловушками. Для истребления красотцев в их убежищах понадобилось бы слишком много людей и времени. Лучше выслеживать страдать вампиров, когда они на самом деле уязвимы ночью. Когда они охотятся, в это время гораздо легче заметить их атаковать. Вот почему стражи Привина должны изменить и применить новую тактику с использованием больших мобильных патрулей. Новинок техники современных средств связи. Мы можем много почерпнуть из опыта войны во Франции. Новую стратегию и методы использования нового снаряжения и оружия. Гранаты, белый фосфор, ультрафиолетовый свет, бронежилеты, огнеметы. Стражам пора перейти в 20 век. Новая война, Джеффри Маккалум, лидер стражей. Крысы убежище. Здесь обычные рукояти, концовая пластина. А я могу прокачать что-нибудь? Улучшение оружия. Старый мачете. Старый кол. Я могу типа мачете, да, улучшить? Да. Ну тут можно взять эффекты зарядки урон, потом урон и оглушение, потому что типа эффект против зверей и вампиров, ну нам как бы похуй. Так, ему на огнестрел похуй. Ему похуй на огнестрел. У него средняя сопротивляемость. Северный док.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
Старый кассет, двуручное оружие. Не, двуручка, конечно, помощнее будет, но нахуй нам двурук.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
I had a drink outside tonight on footy and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
О, это первый босс. Старая палица. Ну, мощнее, чем мачете, кстати. Курс атаки, выносливость. Не будем мачете использовать.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Skal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Ну, она реально помогла, что она убила зомби. Ой, зомби-вампира.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
Окей.
This poor creature can't be my mate.
Образец крови.
Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I
Тут
must
лута
find a
нету.
place to analyze the blood.
А поехали проводить. Бабабуи.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What? Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Да, игра называется, знаете как? Блять, вы сейчас охуеете. Вампур. Игра Вампир. Вот здесь, короче, сюжетка в том, что, я как говорил раньше, ты можешь или перехуярить всех людей, или им помогать. Я буду помогать, я не буду их перехуяривать.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Понятно. Пойти в больничку. Так.
We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
А? Ты кому? Ой.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Я оставлю стекать кровью подробнее. 500 опыта. Я не буду убивать.
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Качество крови указывает на то, сколько единиц опыта получишь, убив этого горожанина. Чем выше качество крови, тем больше опыта получите. Чтобы увидеть кровь человека, сначала вы нужно загипнотизировать его и ввести подальше от посторонних глаз. Если ваш уровень гипноза равен уровню сопротивления жертвы или происходит такого, вы можете получить контроль над его разумом.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Эй, я не хочу его убивать. Нельзя, чтобы объять Клея Коса или отпустить его. Объяв вы получите много единиц опыта, но помните, это приведет к определенным последствиям. Чем больше вы знаете о горожанах, чем больше вы собираетесь связанных с ними. Отпустить.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
What happened?
Ты уже вылечишься, чел. Пружина.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Так, я хочу пойти покушать, поэтому я отойду. Вот. Не буду включать видео, просто сейчас я быстро поем, приду. Я хочу кушать. Кушать важнее. Понимаете? Танцующая мама. Ой. Ой. Ой, меня уже слышно. Ой. Танцующий батя. Получается. Поехали ебошить вампур.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter
Нихуя
how
злая, блядь.
illustrious they might be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires
Cox.
urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
Кто такой доктор
What kind
Суань?
of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Круто.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Ох.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Ага.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippins. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Опа, информация есть.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, But in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Ага, необходима подсказка.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
А лутинг есть?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Торговать?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise chop.
Дробовик Милтона. Нихуя себе. 296.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Новое расследование. Окей.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc.
По
What do you
работе.
do exactly in this hospital? Apart from...
I've been...
А, это уже говорю. Нужны подсказки.
Goodbye.
Давай, Милтон, увидимся.
Pembroke is still standing after this epidemic. There's good reason to be proud.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
У меня со здоровьем все хорошо.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
О, это было с... Ну ладно, проебался,
Can you
что
tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
Тут ну подсказка. Угу.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Нужна подсказка. Давай, пошел нахуй.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you...
Бля, тут еще кто-то появился. А, они внутри. Мистер Хилтон.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place... Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa.
То надо со всеми реально пиздеть. Понять.
Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Да вы заебали.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Опа.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Опа.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Ого.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here.
Ебанутая мадемуазель.
I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Но ложная
Do
цель,
you
но...
require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no...
Мы со здоровьем все нормально. А я же говорил.
I'm assuming you must be a patient.
It's only a cover.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Понятно.
I'll leave you, Mr.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Добрый день.
Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Понятно, нужна подсказка. Так, почти все никто ничего не говорит.
It's locked.
О, мы все можем поговорить нормально.
Mr. Hampton, how do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Отчаяние.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Понятно.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Понятно.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
А тут закрыто.
I cannot enter.
Ничем не болеет, ничем не болеет.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Do you need my medical attention, dear cop?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist.
What can you tell me?
Well, it is...
Окей.
Goodbye,
Всё.
Doctor.
Узнали. Об этом, мадемуазель, мы узнали.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Ну, да.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right, considering the state of this place.
Goodbye for now.
You always knew the words.
О, там, блядь, кто-то орёт, нахуй.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Okay.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Нихуя. Врач охуевший. Охуевшая медсестра, блядь, просила бабок.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm all right.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
How
So
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see.
Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Как скажешь.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
А у меня нет лекарства. Средство от переутомления.
I will see you later. I have to go now, sir.
Так, нужно найти средство от переутомления. О, там какой-то, блядь, ибонат идет. Стой, ибонат.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that...
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly
what? We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Так. Ну что, я пошел нахуй. Хуесос. Блять, там еще какой-то есть хуй усатый.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. It's locked, all right.
Ну-ка, хуй усатый.
I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Please show me what...
Of course.
Что у тебя есть? Загадочный рецепт. Сложный рецепт написан на клочке бумаги. Нужно исследовать. Опиум. Полирин.
Good evening.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Ну, она мертвая. Блять.
I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people, for I sell all kind of goods.
У него есть какой-то секретный рецепт, синий, его надо купить. А еще надо купить охуенный дробовик.
Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Как скажешь, молодой? Нормально, со здоровьем. Goodbye, мистер Чидана. Я знаю, что в этой игре нету... Я знаю, что в этой игре нету, короче... Как срать-то, блядь? Так надо помочь Мортирему Госвику. Есть два челика. Так, пойдем миссии сделаем. Чё? Somebody. Войдите в сад за больницей.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Ну прицелься у него, алло. Алло, чел. Он просто не прицелился. прицеливается, блядь, он просто на него хуй забил. Такой, ну ладно, есть чел, ну пусть меня пиздит. Я не против, про меня хуярили. Зачем целиться, когда можно посмотреть хуй в рот? Люблю хуй в рот. Нажимаю прицелиться, чувак, хуй в рот. Обожаю хуй в рот. А, когда умираю, я только кровь теряю, да? Ага. Опыт я не теряю. О, тут, блядь, прицелился, нахуй. Так, у зомбаря ничего нету. А, кусь? Ой, скамейку сломал. Блять. Нечаянно. Тут никакого лута нет. Целая труба. Фотография улыбающейся парочки. На обороте несколько слов. Милтон и Пипа навсегда.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Патроны, картечь. Кстати, я же могу же у него продать пистолет и патроны. И ебать, тупо долетели. Масло, винт. Так, полетели искать этого чувачка. Ну там кто-то, блядь, спрятался. Здорово.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Ебать, я высокий нахуй.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Хорошо.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Ну да. Нету. Окажется, товар, говноед. Ну, его дробаш я хочу взять, потому что он уже второго уровня. И это заебись. Вот. Ну и он сильнее, чем мой дробовик. Кстати. А, почему не могу пушки продать? Часы не знаю, я пока не вижу смысла продавать. Выполнено. Ну пошли в больничку.
It's locked, all right.
Или до больнички не получится добраться, пока я не найду кабинет и что в таком духе. Конец здоровья. А.
It's locked.
Карантин, теперь не заходить. Блять! Разъебал. Бля, выглядит так, как будто зайти можно. Хорошо, а как к нему туда попасть? Это там же типа этот... Безопасное место.
I cannot enter.
Может, тут есть проходик? И тут есть крыски, кстати. Ой. Кусь. Блять, как он бьет нахуй? И, по-моему, нужно наносить по одному удару и бить? Ой, съебываться?
It's locked.
Как заперта? Блин, издеваетесь. А, крысы бесконечно респаунится. Так, надо идти к врачу. К врачу, нам налево. Флакон духов чист. Часы можно разобрать. Ах ты, сука, блядь. Да ты заебал, блядь. Ёбище нахуй. Да, чувак просто без остановки бьет. Ну, блядь, типичный Dark Souls хуета. Чувак просто махает руками, и ему похуй. Ну, он просто бьет. Он просто машет. Он просто машет руками, потому что надо. Ну, блядь, то, что в игре нет быстрого телепорта, это, конечно, кринги. А, тут я лут собрал. Инин, гвоздичная масса. Патроны кончились. Фармлинги. На, поебучки. Я же, блядь, уклоняюсь. Ну, чувак просто присасывается ко мне, и ему похуй. Типа, все, он просто присосался. А именно, въебал меня. Ебать, охуенные побочки. Ну иди пизди, там чуваки уже 15 левела, 20, ты такой сидишь. Охуенно. Ладно, придется идти в свою ебаную комнату, блядь. А, блядь, они заново появились. Ну я же быстрее жму, чем этот хуесос, блядь. Им так похуй, они вообще... Надо идти прокачиваться, потому что я слабенький. Ах ты же, кринги ёбаный, еще стримишь. Ну, лемур не прошел. Он обосрался. Ладно, пойдем прокачаемся. Я же могу в своей комнате прокачаться, верно? А 1600 опыта, хуй, что я там, блядь, купить могу нахуй? 0 уровней, блядь. Чем не болеет? Чем не болеет? Нихуя старая пила, блядь.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Ищи драконов? Брехун? Это за... Чё дали? Ну что дали бич драконов и брехун? Ну-ка, Владик, ты тут? Ой. Ох, какой теперь сексуальный. Записка доктора. Я попрошу сестру Крейн подготовить для вас кабинет на втором этаже. К сожалению, не могу вас проводить. Мне нужно немного поспать перед работой. Я всего лишь простой смертный. Заранее прошу прощения за скромную обстановку. Мимурская больница далеко не Риц. Я распорядился, чтобы к вам никто никогда не входил, поэтому спокойно спите днем и работайте по ночам, если вам угодно. Здесь нет лаборатории, но вы сможете проводить эксперименты у себя. Кроме того, в кабинете есть окно, а за ним строительные леса, которые позволят вам незаметно уходить и возвращаться. Должно быть, сейчас вам все кажется непривычным и пугающим. Я долго изучал представители вашего вида и помню, что сейчас чувствуете. Можете рассчитывать на мою помощь. Я рад познакомиться с вами в это тяжелое время. Надеюсь, ваше сотрудничество принесет блестящие результаты. Добро пожаловать в Пемберскую больницу, уважаемый коллега. Скоро мы еще побеседуем. Что это такое? Шкафчик, блядь. Ну, загрузка, конечно, 10 из 10 нахуй. А, это я переодеваюсь. Не, я хочу переодеться в шляпочку. Хочу переодеться в шляпочку. Шляпочка. У меня еще микрофон включен, блядь. А то, может, опять, блядь, у меня... ОБС. Опу, Каринги. Заебись. Ты че, ебанутый, блядь? По каким-то волшебным кнопкам у меня... Игра перешла на второй экран. А как его вернуть обратно, блядь? Окей. Охуенно, просто игра решила перейти на второй экран. Заебись. Вы нет. О, теперь красавчик. Так, что мне там дали, нахуй? Я хочу посмотреть. Бич драконов. Старый, но все еще острый меч на лезвие, который выиграна латинская. Брехун. Ебать, я буду его прокачивать, получается? Ох, нихуя, позволяет поглотить кровь. Уменьшает расход выносливости. А где верстак? Пойдем прокачаем нахуй. Пьяная пробирка.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Сыворотки. Моментально становится 300 единиц здоровья, за день 150 единиц только 15 секунд. Нихуя. Средство от переутомления. О, я могу скрафтить одно. Простуда, бронхит, пневмония. Мне хватает, мне нужен алюминиевый порошок. Не, ну поглотить кровь это охуенно, кстати. А этот пикалет я могу прокачать? Не, мне не хватает. Качать время перезарядки. Вон. Мне нужен хини. Я могу это скрафтить.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching.
Алюминиевый порошок.
I can feel it.
О, как раз алюминиевый порошок.
I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Давай. Право барьер свертывания. Наверное, возьму когти, хилку и вот, наверное, возьму еще бездну. Тысячу, ебать. А я ж, по-моему, прокачивал выносливость. Ну, туман, вы размещаете у него облако у своих ног или у ног у цели. Стой, я чуть не понял. Сверхъестественное. Что у меня еще есть?
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Так. Стоять. Не надо. А, я могу взять когти. А, есть активные и сверхъестественные. Понятно, сверхъестественные это вот это вот ульта. Значит, я могу взять еще 2 активных. Вы останавливаете кровь в венах. В венах цели делать ее беззащитной. Ну давай, на когти возьму. Тактические хуй знает. Мне тактически не интересно. Типа... Подожди, мадам, ты подождешь. Я сейчас пойду помогу ребенку с кашлем. И сделаю побочку, на этом закончим. Так. Телема Хокфорд. Они, блядь, по больнице ходят.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Чтобы проверить состояние здоровья, нажмите РБ.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Tell me about it.
I don't want to.
Ладно. Восстановление.
I have to go now, sir.
Так, все. Он пошел на восстановление. Все, ждем, пока восстановится. Переутомление у этого дебилоида. А у меня нету пока. А я во-вторых хуй знает, где он сидит. Он наверху или внизу? Просто на моей карте показывает, что квест внизу находится. Ну хотя вот тут я нашел проход.
Murder him over there! There's one of them vermin!
Усь! Распяток как командный пункт Стражи Привена. Тема действия вампира. В больнице изучить и расследовать. 3 дня назад от одного наших ректоров дошло слухи о том, что некая женщина-вампир прячется в Пемберской больнице, лондонский Ист-Энд. Нам известно лишь, что ее имя Тельма. Ваша задача незаметно пробраться в больницу и наблюдать за действиями вышеуказанного кровососа, затем сообщить их о них нам. После того мы решим, что следует предпринять. И вот все залутали. Часы. Пойдем найдем местный командный пункт и трахнем кого-то в жопу, получается. Блять, а как они делали побочки, когда мобы высокого левела, блять? А как? Типа мобы высокого левела и что с ними делать, блять? Блять, просто, а как срать? Типа, ладно, бомжуют эти 6-го, похуй. Ну я же уклонился, блядь. Ёбище ёбаное. Записка мокрых ботинок. Относительно вербовки парней Ванфиль, кажется, одного я нашел. Это Альби, он тупой как табулет, но крепкий. Я попросил его раздобыть лекарства для продажи на черном рынке. Он быстро их доставил. После встречи я скажу ему, что его приняли в мокрые ботинки. Теперь он должен получать приказы у своих боссов. Нужно новое расследование, откройте. Нас пока, блядь, это расследование интересует. Алло, блядь. Ой, куда я пошел, блядь? Горожанин, которому грозит опасность, может не дожить до следующей ночи. Навестите его.
I cannot enter.
Петиция. Остановим мистера Бейтса в течение многих месяцев, может быть, и лет. Кайден Бейтс квотировал нас. Ставим мистера Бейтса. Если у вас было больше денег для настоящей работы, то мы никогда не сняли эту ужасную квартиру. Остановим мистера Бейтса. Все мы знаем, как третье предположение делать женщинам, которые не могут заплатить. Ну-ка.
What happened? Who are you? It's all right, sir. You're safe now. Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
После гражданина на следующую ночь он вернется в свой район. У него простуда. Квест от простуды. Так, 480 опыта, да? Я думаю, что на этом стрим можем закончить. Сейчас мы пойдем телепортнемся, прокачаемся. Я думаю. Ну да, тут, блядь, игра сделана так, что хочешь пиздатенько прокачаться, ну, жестко, то тебе придется чем-то жертвовать. Или перебашить всех людей, ну, интересами в их доверие и все в таком духе. А потом их перебашить. Или... Ну, этого не делать. Я постараюсь пойти по... хорошему финалу. Типа, пытаться всех вылечить. Потому что тут лечить надо. Ага, вот он столб. Вообще я могу без стрима вот это по бочке поуполнять. Ой. Что-то на 3-й этаж забрался. Ну. Охуенно прочитал информацию. Да иди ты нахуй. Ты сюжетка, блядь, никуда не улетишь.
Come on, I don't have all night.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
А где мне взять воду? Давай прокачаем. Можно, конечно, выносливость дальше качнуть. Или запас здоровья, или запас крови. Давай сохраним себе хпшки. Важно событие в районе. Каждую ночь вы своим действием улучшаете или ухудшаете состояние района. Состояние также может ухудшиться из-за распространения болезней. Если состояние здоровья жителей района кажется ниже критического уровня, он погрузится в хаос. Любой район решаете вы. Тяжелое. Пиздец. Но зато я у пиздюка похилял горлышко. Вот. А я думаю, что пока на этом все. Поэтому всем спасибо. Всем удачи.